Hi, and welcome to the latest video of uh, my daily videos. I will later in this video give an update on my sloth, but today I actually wanted to start the video with basically a talking about weird habits I have as a crocheter and crafter in general. And I actually got the idea from Elise Rose Crochet's one of her last videos where she listed like 28 things that could be described as weird quirks or uh, just things crocheters do but often won't admit and or admit. Uh, just yeah, could be classified as quirks. Um, so let's begin. Okay, so this first one is, can you have a conversation with a crocheter? Um, that actually depends. For me personally, I can be in a giving and or meaningful conversation for both parties, but I'm actually being honest now. I sometimes don't pay any attention to what you are saying because I'm counting stitches, I am following a pattern, and I zone out because I'm so engulfed in the pattern. And is it healthy for in the long run for the conversation? No, it's not. But it's really depending on the person. I usually have a good conversation and I often put my work down on my lap and is like, okay, we're talking. I will put my work down when you say something. Then I will answer you while I'm working and then put my work down again. That's fine. That's how I do it. I don't mind if you want to do it differently. That's also fine. We're all doing things our way, and that's just how things are. Bringing in more yarn secretly. Have I done this, or will I keep doing it? Well, both yes and no. Yes, I have done this before, but I was a child and I actually collected recycling bottles money because here in Norway, Sweden and Denmark at least, when you recycle your plastic bottles and or metal cans, you can get some money from it, not much per can and bottle, but like there's still money in it and you actually pay for that money. So I don't know why more people do that, but I collected so many empty bottles and cans um, that I actually grew quite a large sum of money, and I bought yarn and brought it home secretly. And my mom was not happy, and I can understand because I, being a quite poor kid, suddenly having enough money to get lots of yarn. How does that add up? Had I done something I shouldn't? Had I met someone who were grooming me? Who knows? But I just collected free money on the ground, which I still do to this day. Um, have I done it since? No, because my ex and I had this agreement that if I needed yarn, I would just go buy it, and she would know because she would see that my bag of currently in use yarns were stocked up, and she knew when I was running low and that I would go get more. So, no, I don't do it today. I have done before, but I have not done it since I was a very small child, like maybe 10 till 14. Well, that's actually just 13 years ago, but still I was quite young, and now I'm considered an adult. That's boring. Just one more row syndrome. Well, I am clearly guilty of that. And the reason I am is because I quite enjoy doing crafts and working with my hands. It keeps me calm and I feel like I'm achieving something, I'm doing stuff, and just I'm being productive in one way or another. And I often don't want to go to bed because of the fact that I enjoy it so much that I struggle to keep awake if I don't crochet most of the time when I'm not eating, because I obviously will not do it when I'm eating. Um, and sometimes the hours go by so fast and I'm just doing one more row before bed, and suddenly it's 3 a.m. I have not taken my sleeping pills. I have just binge watched TV series and laughed and liked the humor, paid attention to the TV series as well because I multitask, because I pay attention to the TV and I pay attention to my work and the yarn, and that's just I struggle to stop sometimes, and I know many people actually will struggle when they're a crafter, or especially doing uh, embroidery, sewing in general, crocheting, knitting, other types of yarn fiber. Just one more row, like tapestry. Um, it's just you can't stop yourself sometimes, and that's okay. But at the same time, you gotta make sure that you have an alarm on to be able to go to bed in time, because I am time blind when I'm working, because all I care about when I'm working is my yarn work and nothing else. Do I spot stitches everywhere based off of working all the time? Yes, I actually do. I often spot different kinds of yarn fiber works as well. Like I recently saw my friend's service dog had a new necklace, and I was like, "Does Elfie has a new necklace?" Yes, the owner said, and I asked, "Did you make it?" Yes, she said, and then I asked, "Is it paracord, because it looks like a paracord?" And she was like, "Yes, I'm glad you actually noticed, because I'm quite proud of that necklace." And that's just one thing I do. Often I'm like, that's a double crochet, or that's a single crochet, that's that stitch for knitting, and yada yada yada. I do that. And also, regarding the just a small rant about commercialized crocheting. No, it's not crocheted, it's knitted poorly on a machine to emulate crocheting, but it's not crocheting. You will actually, if you just look at it, see that, hey, that's not crocheting, because crocheted items are quite stiff and less flexible. Of course, that depends on your work, but still, knitting is more stretchy and more flexible, and crocheted items are more stiff and non-stretchy. Again, depending on the stitch, but like, you get the gist. So please don't buy commercialized crocheting. Do it yourself, or do a commission from someone you know or someone online. We are. It's only possible to make crocheted items by human hand, because each machine that has tried will fail because it's too complicated for a machine to learn, as of now at least. A serial starter for crocheting projects, I'm not guilty of that. I actually, um, well, I kind of am, but at the same time I'm not, because as a child I started something new every day, and I had who knows how many projects, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, so I started a new project, I forgot about them, but today I don't. I keep Mostly one big project and several small ones I finish in between the rounds of making the big one, because that's easier for me to be motivated to go on until the end of the project. So both yes and no to that. Hmm. Is crochet the ultimate excuse? What is meant by that is, could it be the ultimate excuse to declining doing things with other people? Yes, it can. And it's actually a valid excuse as well. Because you could be tired, you could be working on a deadline, which is actually true for some people, or you have set a deadline for yourself. Um, you could be just having a bad day in general, or you all you want to do is crochet and not bother with people. That's fine. And yes, I have done this quite a few times actually. Mostly because I make deadlines for myself on things. That's completely okay. But I also sometimes have deadlines for other people. I could have deadlines for commissions, which has happened once or twice, and hopefully more in the future, because I have things up in my Etsy shop. Um, what I do not want to uh, admit to is, because it's never happened, I have never used crocheting as an excuse to skip school and or so, because I always bring it with me. But I know some people who actually use crocheting and knitting or embroidery as an excuse to skip school because, well, they have tried it at least. I'm not saying it worked, but they have tried. And yes, I do use crocheting as an ultimate excuse sometimes. And that's fair. Pretending to binge series and or movies. No, I'm not guilty of this, because I actually pay attention, and if I don't see a very important scene and something that happened and I didn't get it, I will actually rewind to get it, because I want to pay attention to what I'm doing. And sometimes I stop working and pay attention to the TV, and then I go back to working while paying attention to the TV. Sometimes I just have to pay attention to just one thing and then start with the other. So that's my place. I have never binge watched something without paying attention. Even though if it's a movie series that I know very well or TV series, I know what's going to happen, so I'm halfway paying attention. So yeah, but I'm not pretending to watch because I know what's going to happen. If I have seen it enough times, of course, but like, yeah, you get the gist. Buying patterns and not following them. Well, I can't say I'm guilty of this because I don't buy patterns. I usually follow free patterns on YouTube, like video tutorials, and one of the reasons I don't buy patterns is because I can't read them actually. Well, if I focus very much and strain my head so I kind of get a migraine, that could work. But like, no, I am not buying patterns, not because I don't support other crocheters, but like, I can't read them, so what's the point? So no, I'm not guilty of this. The yarn collector. Well, no. I have a very small selection of yarns. I know what I'm going to do with them. I know what I'm going to make. I have plans ahead of time. So I'm not one of those who goes into a yarn store or a fibercraft market and just buy random yarns, because I need a purpose for them and I try to stick with it. I can't change what I'm going to use the yarn for ultimately, yes, but I'm still always using them, and I'm not going to buy more yarn than I have the need for at the moment. It's like I'm almost on the verge of buying more brown, but that's because I might run out before I have finished. So, but like, I don't buy yarn just because it's pretty. I can look at it, I can want it for all the things I want, but I won't buy it unless I actually need it for something. The Dragon Horde. Well, just to be clear, I, as a dragon, I don't hoard yarn. I have a more tendency to hoard like gaming consoles, old games, but yarn stuff, no, I don't hoard things as a dragon there. I might actually hoard some body lotions because obviously my body needs them. Uh, but no, I'm not hoarding yarn, and I can't say I'm guilty of this. Attachment style crochet. What do I mean by that? Well, I can get oddly attached to things like products I have made, and specifically, often I get those attachments to the project I am giving away. Uh, but I don't struggle with taking them or giving them away because I often push my things onto others. Although I still kind of want to keep it, but like, I know I'm not going to use it. I don't have any need for it. I just wanted to make it. So that's kind of my problem. I love to make things, but I often don't have any kind of use for them. And it's so frustrating. Especially when I used to make doilies, and I might do that sometime. Just because I like making doilies. I could make coasters, but I do not have any use for all of the coasters or doilies I make. That's my problem. That's also why I want to sell, because I make things. I want to give them away. I want people to enjoy them. But I won't enjoy having a stack of them here at my place where they will just sit in a bag and the bag will start to become dusty. Crocheting versus knitting. Well, obviously, my YouTube channel is primarily about me crocheting. So, obviously, I prefer crocheting, but I'm not going to argue what is better. I can only argue what I personally like to do. I don't say that knitting is harder or more easy for people. That's a personal preference, but I personally prefer crocheting because I feel I can do a lot more than knitting. But that might just be because I easier handle just one hook and then making all the knots instead of using two hooks and then making the coils and whatnot. I can do that easier with just one hook than two, but that's just how I work. In the zone. Yes, I'm guilty. I am often so much in the zone that time flies away. I forget to eat, I forget to go to the bathroom sometimes. No accident has happened, but suddenly I notice that perhaps my bladder or my bowels are like, you need to go now. And I'm like, but I just want to continue. And they're like, no. So that can happen. When I forget to eat, I get starved, and then I also lose the motivation to make myself food. So often I end up taking potato chips and or just make something potentially unhealthy just to get something in me and then keep working. I also often try to make foods that are not sticky on my hands because I need clean hands while working on my projects. Fishing for compliments. Both yes and no actually. Um, yes, due to the fact that I want people to fuss over them. I want them to say how pretty things are, but no, because I know that if I'm making something, they will ask if they want to see, and they will tell me exactly how they feel about it. At least my close friends does. So friends and family. So both yes and no. Do I avoid frogging mistakes? Well, that actually depends. Because sometimes you can't see the mistake, sometimes you can, and you have to undo what you did. I've recently made a short of me having to frog an entire row on my project because I had made a mistake, and I had to do it. I didn't want to, but if I can avoid it, I will. But usually I don't because it annoys the F out of me when I know there's a mistake. Do I bring too much crocheting project when going out for either just a day or a weekend, a week, a month? Well, no, because you can run out, and what are you going to do then? What if you don't have any more yarn? I usually bring just a little extra because I'd much rather have too much with me than too little. Because I don't like being out of yarn and not having anything to do with my hands. And no, I'm not going to frog an entire project just to make it again. Do I have a favorite hook? Obviously I do, because in each video I think you have seen me crocheting, I have used this hook. This is a Tulip 0.75mm hook, and Tulip is a Japanese brand, and I love them. They are sturdy hooks, uh, just they're pointy, they just work with the yarn so well, and at least once they have been used a day or two, they don't squeak because they're not having that plating on, or I'm not really sure what it is, but sometimes they can squeak in the start, but once you have used them a few days, it stops and you never hear anything from it again, unless you lose it on the floor or something. A dream retreat to crochet. Um, I think it would be a place much like my living room actually. Um, it would be slightly cool. It would be good lighting, but also some shade if it's in the middle of the day, and a good light behind me or something to so I can see. I have actually thought of getting some kind of neck ring light because I want to try it and see how it actually works for me. So yeah, but slightly cool, enough space, lots of fresh air, like not always fresh air in my apartment, I obviously know that, but if I could be outside, I would love to do it, but not directly in the sun. Keep slightly cool and just work my way. This is so exciting. After having recounted 15 times now, just to make sure, because I'm starting to get slightly tired, I have counted up until 37 rows left of actual pattern. So 37, which means I have since yesterday made 6 rows, which would roughly be about 6 hours today of work, which is quite good. Do I want to keep counting? Obviously I do, because now it's just so close to the end and I can see the end of the tunnel, and I'm just so looking forward to it. I'm excited. Just because I can, I will show you the result. So yeah, basically the only edit since last time is that the forehead of the sloth has gotten quite larger, and it's starting to go quite a lot in that way and less this way. So that's the update on the sloth for now, and I'm getting closer and closer to actually finishing making the sloth, and I'm so excited and looking forward to tomorrow's update. And I also want to say thank you for watching, and thank you for potentially liking this video, commenting, and or subscribing for that matter. You don't have to do anything if you don't feel like it, but if you do, I would appreciate it a lot, and I will try to answer every comment and or thoughts you might have. I want to advertise for my store, Dragon's Fillet Crochet. I have finally been able to put up the purple cat. I thought I had it on the table. Yes, I do. It's like I have it in a bag to keep it away from dust, but I have two projects here. Obviously both are cats. I don't think I'm going to open it because it's somewhat vacuum sealed, but like there's the sleepy cat you can kinda see here, and there's the big stretch cat. So yeah, both of these and others are available on my Etsy shop, and they are made to order. So if you order, for example, a purple sleepy cat, I will make it and send it within a week, because that one took me maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So since it's so little, it took me about 6 till 7 hours, maybe 5. Same with this purple one, and I'm also working on another project which is going to be beige again, and then I'm going to remake all these two and the other one in the other colors I have available at the moment, because I want to show that yes, I can make them, but it takes time to actually make them, and I'm at the moment very busy with my sloth. But other than that, thank you for watching, commenting, and just have a nice day and nice night, and hopefully you will stay safe. That's most important for me. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope we see each other again in the next video. Bye!